Since we've already covered his partner in crime Dooley, it's probably about high time we talk about that bastion of boogers, Clark Peters.
Me llamo Clark Peters.
Muchos gustos, Carlos Pedros. Ay, Margarita.
Hey folks, welcome to Squirrel Tactics. Like, subscribe, check out the Patreon, let's do this. Clark Peters, voiced by Pamela Adlon, who also voiced Bobby, which I suppose keeps in line with Clark being a slightly bigger, meaner version of the Hillboy. I mean, both of them even wear short pants all the time. Even though his partner in crime was introduced decently early in the first season, Clark Peters didn't make his first appearance until about a third of the way through the second season, where he showed up as a background member of the choir in The Son That Got Away. He actually appears quite a bit in the background. In fact, 22 out of his 42 appearances were non-speaking, but his speaking debut was as a member of the wrestling team at Bobby Slam. And the first thing he does is bully Bobby, then Connie.
Hey, Hill, a bunch of us decided that if you don't beat that girl tomorrow, we don't know what we'll do. So you better beat her. Guys, there's no way I can lose. I'm in the best shape of my life. Hey, there she is. Watch this. How are you doing, Connie?
Yeah, Clark Peters is a bully, hence why he and Dooley get along so well. Something I found interesting here is that they have wrestling tryouts, and we see Clark Peters dressed out and ready to compete, yet when it shows the board of participants, there's no Peters. I wonder if he had a different name at that point, seeing as his first name was revealed later in Season 2 in the final Shinsult.
What's the hantavirus?
Well, Clark, it's a flu-like disease usually contracted from rodent droppings.
And his last name wasn't actually used until Season 3's To Spank with Love, but we'll get to that episode in a minute because before that he appeared alongside his other classmates in a firefighting We Will Go when he and Dooley were able to prod the guys into opening a fire hydrant, even though, yes, they're volunteers.
I'll open up the hydrant.
Dale, the hydrants are for fire emergencies.
They don't know how to open the hydrant.
Because they're volunteers.
We see that he's part of Bobby's Sunday school class in Sleight of Hank, so we know that he attends Arlen First Methodist.
And now, for my next miracle, I'm gonna need a large wooden cross and a couple of volunteers. No!
And he's part of Bobby's history class when they receive new textbooks in How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Alamo.
My book is broken.
Well, listen more carefully.
In No Bobby Left Behind, he's in Bobby's gym class and is also one of the poor test takers who ends up in the special needs class, but at least he got to take part in the trip to Alamo Land, though he was the first person to stand up on the log ride and was also the first person to fall in the water.
It has begun!
Look at me! I'm flume surfing!
Not gonna lie, I was kind of wondering if he was possibly Jimmy Witchard's kid, but I doubt it. I do want to point out the fact that Clark Peters does rock the double ponytail, which a lot of people overlook. He's also the first person to get Bobby to do his writing assignment in Old Glory.
Hey, Bobby. Hey, Clark. I've never said anything, but I really admire your writing. Uh-huh. If I had a gift like yours, I'd share it. That's nice. My favorite hobby. It's due Thursday. I'll turn it in Friday so they don't get suspicious.
And it was Clark's paper about knitting and his penchant for burning things that ended up getting Bobby caught stealing Peggy's musings.
It seems both you and Clark Peters believe that, quote, when it comes to tea cozies, it's either crochet or the highway. Now that doesn't sound like the Clark Peters I know. The Clark Peters I know likes to burn things.
Both he and Dooley bully Peggy into Spank with Love due to the fact that she's a substitute.
A substitute.
Attack.
And it's the two of them that end up causing Peggy to snap and spank Dooley after he pulls down her pants. And I'll go ahead and say it, he's lucky that all he got was a spanking after doing that. I'd have been okay with her doing much worse.
Huh? Oh, yeah! Holy crap.
But by the end of the episode, after the introduction of Paddle and Peggy, a name that's kind of funny when you consider her future foot fetish work, all is back to normal as everybody moves on from the incident.
Fine. All you children are interested in is punishment, so I will teach you about punishment. With this. Yes! Yes!
Now, what most people think of when they think of Clark Peters is his constant congestion. I mean, seriously, kid, blow your damn nose.
Mr. Hill, come quick. Something's happened to Bobby.
Now, it may be that he has horrific allergies, but he's literally snot-nosed. And it is possible that he's just always sick. He apparently got the entire Hill family sick at Bill's house.
You guys are sick too?
Clark Peters sneezed on me.
Stupid kid. Can't even cover his mouth when he sneezes.
He should be expelled.
And it's not just the audience that sees his constant congestion as a well-known character trait, but also other characters in the show like we see in Get Your Freak Off.
Thank God he showed up when he did, or I might be stuck in a closet right now getting felt up by Clark Peters. What? That little booger-nosed creep?
We see him become a fan of Hank while substituting for the shop teacher in Little Horrors of Shop, particularly impressed by Hank's multi-tool.
Son, could you stand up a minute?
Cool. Is that a switchblade?
No, it's a multi-tool.
And he's the one who runs to get Hank when Bobby gets in trouble for carrying tools. He even jogs along Hank to show him where it's all going down. In Tears of an Inflatable Clown, he's part of the planning committee for the school's carnival.
The demon forms the decorations, dude. Yeah, but decorations are way sexier. That is mad stupid.
And this group ends up becoming more or less a social experiment about tearing open wounds so that they could heal. Yeah, that doesn't make much sense, I know.
I'm a policeman? I'm getting too old for this crap.
1, yeah, not what that star meant. And 2, you gotta love a Lethal Weapon reference.
I didn't appreciate getting ethnically cleansed, Connie.
I didn't mean to kill you. I really thought I was sending you on vacation.
He ends up becoming one of the squares and is ordered to sing by a circle so we get to hear his wonderful singing voice.
Sing beautiful songs about me! Joseph, king of the school, you throw a football so far. Yeah, I do.
In a portrait of the artist as a young clown, we get to see his drum skills during the school's talent show. And he's part of the group of guys that talked Bobby into giving the regatta boat he's building a test run before it was ready, and it came from the garage.
Dude, this boat is awesome. It makes me want to drink a pineapple. I want to see it in action. Yeah, this lacks perspective.
We also get to see him at the co-ed unsupervised birthday party and Get Your Freak Off, just being a normal kid of his age.
I hope they have an affair.
I didn't hear the sounds of ecstasy. Dude, lick your hand and spank her!
Do you have an affair?
I want to go home.
Now, later in the series, we see him hang out with Bobby more, especially with Dooley.
I can't wait until I'm doing this with beer cans.
And in Cops and Robert, it's Clark Peters who throws an empty soda can at the school resource officer that Bobby ends up getting blamed for.
Why do we need a policeman at school?
Yeah, it's like they took something sucky and made it even suckier.
Oh!
You know, Clark's got some short legs, but he sure can move them. Bobby does end up getting his revenge later in the episode when he narcs on Clark and Dooley for skipping school, and he takes Officer Brown right to them.
Here we go.
You got him, Officer Brown. You set up the wrong guy, boyos.
I'll tell you, Bobby, it's just nice to have some suspects.
I'm a suspect.
In Bad Girls, What You Gonna Do, he builds a potato gun for the science fair, officially known as Rock the Science. Which really isn't surprising considering the kids that built potato guns back when I was a kid were kind of like Clark Peters.
The compression generated by the air pump can launch the potato with enough force to go through a man's skull at 100 yards.
And it's this potato gun that Connie ends up using to save Bobby after he figures out that he's been tricked into making meth.
It was an accident. Prove it wasn't, yo.
He's part of the student walkout that Bobby leads to impress a girl in Bobby Ray. He's the prosecutor of the school's environmental court in It Ain't Easy Being Green.
I'm not a lawyer, I'm just a kid. But you, sir, disgust me.
All right, that's it.
And he helps call out Peggy for not knowing what she was talking about in The Substitute Spanish Prisoner, though to be fair, it's math.
And the answer, of course, is false.
Why?
Well, just look at it. It's got the areas and your diameters.
You can't show your work.
Probably his most famous appearance was in Bobby Goes Nuts, where Bobby steps in when Clark is bullying a kid.
Hey, Peters. You giving my friend here a hard time?
Back off. This is none of your business, Bobby.
Oh, I'm making it my business, Peters.
But it's not to help the kid in any way, it's because Bobby wants an excuse to kick somebody in the balls. Or nads, as Clark so eloquently put it, and we see Bobby going a little too far this time. Well, going below the belt was already going too far, but you get what I mean.
What are you gonna do? You gonna kick me in the nads?
Am I gonna do it? Yes. When am I gonna do it? Don't know. Could be tomorrow. Now! One thing you'll find out about me, Clark, is that I'm not a very patient person.
So Clark Peters was used a lot as a background student at Tom Landry. He's part of the same social circle as Bobby, especially in the later seasons, and it's odd that sometimes he's shown as a bully, while other times he allows others to bully him. Like going along with singing a song for Joseph, a real bully would not have done that. Truth be told, Clark Peters is really just a kid in the background of school scenes that doesn't really have set character perimeters. He's a bully when the writers need him to be a bully. He's one of Bobby's buddies when the writers need him to be one of Bobby's buddies, but more often than not, he's not shown to be particularly book smart. However, he can be pretty quick-witted. He's a memorable character, if nothing else, than his snot issues, but he does a good job of filling in the numbers when they need classmates, and like Dooley, he's typically good for a laugh.
What the hell is going on here? That's not Olympic-style wrestling!
Nope. That's real wrestling. Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Principal Boss, have you heard anything about Tom Landry being haunted by a headless prom queen?
No, he had a couple kids choke on erasers, but no hauntings. I'd probably remember something like that.